Okay, here we go, Chad. Here's a video. Here's a video. Let's go. We found a real video. None of that reaction stuff. Where's the reaction video, Chad?
Cowboy about the fat because he around the tail.
What y'all think, Chad? What y'all think?
R.I.P. Bolt the Fats, Nipsey Hussle's best friend.
Krusty, that was my celly in Lancaster, man. Me and him was porters, man. Lancaster building 2.
Yeah. You know what we went through, you know?
We got the old footage, man.
That's Nipsey Hussle, best friend right there.
Man. Y'all gonna see Fats with big t-shirts, you know? This didn't change, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We growing. Yeah. Still going, man. It's a marathon, man, you know? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. These two right here, man, good brothers. Nip, you know, foundation.
Yeah.
This word.
To the outside world, Fat's death is a mystery, but allegedly the hood knows. And this is how the story goes. But before we begin, please like the video. But on this situation, Big U claims innocence.
Hit the like button on the video, Chad. Let's go.
You know, another new one too. I got into it with Fat. Let me give y'all the information on it. I ain't never got into it with Fats. Fats is my little homeboy. Ever in my life, me and Fats ever got into it with.
That's Big U, Chad.
Ever.
If you're on this video, you probably know the whole situation right now. The whole situation that's going on.
So, all that them telling y'all stupid for listening to any of that. But y'all been listening and responding to this we said for the last this 6-7 years. Why you gonna stop? No, longer than that. Longer than that. Y'all was accusing me that I ain't even do. And what's funny, I wasn't even in town. So figure that one out.
Oh, we gonna figure it out, Big U. You can't bully us through the internet. That's that. If you figure it out, you dead look. Well, since the FBI is on your ass, we gonna figure it out. And we only getting the story from real 6-0s. Shout out to Lil Rozay. Go subscribe to him right now. But this is how the story goes. When Nipsey Hussle first got out of his contract with Big U wasn't happy. They tried everything in their power to sabotage Nipsey Hussle's career. First, by going to the studio and ripping out all the equipment.
Right. Then when I decided when my son come home from college, he want to do music. Right. So I'm like, okay, when we get the equipment, we're going to put it somewhere where we can all get to it.
In his journey, yes. There's rumors Nipsey and Big U got into a fight. I was overseas when I heard about that.
When I left the music industry, me and Nipsey had a fallout. He had my equipment, and I wanted to use my equipment. He got mad because I got my equipment back. So then that's when our conflict started. I ended up getting the equipment back and said, I'm gonna move it right here at my shop on 43rd and Crenshaw. And then everybody can get there all the time. Nip, you can get to when you want to. So
but that didn't stop Nipsey though. He was the hardest working man in the hood. Recorded enough songs for the next few mixtapes. And some of the recorded songs were hits with the Compton Blood named YG. They decided to shoot a music video for one of the songs. First in Compton.
Video shoot. Hey, we got neighborhood Nip in the treetop.
Is that? Bitches ain't shit for whole shit. Bitches ain't shit for whole shit. I think YG and Nipsey was in that with Tiger. Remember that song?
Every nip guy I got. Treetop.
And during the shoot, Nipsey got a call. The back door was ordered on Nipsey Hussle by Big U. Instead of filling the order,
not the back
Nipsey had
door,
so much love, they gave him the heads up. Nipsey's team didn't arrive yet. Called the team, tell him turn around, head to the Marathon store. Then YG called, where you at? We gotta finish the shoot. This song's a hit, guaranteed. That's when Nipsey told him, you know what? Come down to the hood. Let's shoot it down here instead. They can't backdoor me down here. And YG went on his way.
Getting it in, huh? Video shoot.
Actually, came back doing right there. Oh, this is crazy.
I know what it is. Man, I know what it is.
Well, during the shoot, Big U and company came through, kicking down cameras, trying their best to stop it. After the shoot, while everybody was waiting for Nip to go back to his grandma's house, Big U was at the studio. Everyone else might have been intimidated by Big U, but not Nipsey. He went to the studio and called Big U out, like, what's up, why you hating? Big U started complaining, like, you bringing a red rag to the hood. And I heard you made a diss song about me, Nip. Nipsey told him straight up, yeah, it is about you.
That's when they got upset, and he made the song. I don't rap,
that song never came out.
That's
It
her
did
Drink
come out.
Champ. Shout out to
It did come
Nori
out.
Drink
It
Champ.
wasn't never pushed as a song.
Man, I
but
remember watching
it
Drink
came
Champ
out, and
so
I mean,
much
I don't
when I was
rap, I
younger.
swear. And this is my neighborhood, my
That's Big
you
Q
know
right
what I'm
there.
saying? This is my land. This is my piece of rock. I fought for this. I ain't gave this up. I'm still here every single day. He ain't like that. He's supposed to make a diss song about me. Well, I ain't no rapper. I'm a scrapper.
I'm a scrapper. I ain't no rapper.
Then
I'm
Big
a
U threw a
scrapper.
water bottle at Nipsey Hussle's face. Nipsey wasn't having it. Big homie, let's go outside. You know what time it is. Let's run this lap.
Big U went out there like he was about to mail in the victory. He just knew he had that one. Dead homies. Bro, went out there stretching on that old MMA, mixed martial arts stuff. But that it only work in the mirror. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Ask anybody, ask the front hoods. Man, Nip maxed this dude out. Walked him up out of there until Bear Claw say, bro, you don't need to be fighting this young dude. Tiny Draws, get out there. Nip gave him what he wanted also.
Yeah, so basically, let's
Nip
get
was
this
putting
straight.
work.
So,
What?
Nip had an altercation with him in the studio or whatever. Big U was like, is this song about me? He was like, yeah, it's about you, cuz. So Big U threw the water bottle at him, right? So he was like, we're gonna have to go downstairs and get down, right? So they in the middle of the street. And Nip kept just bouncing around. You get what I'm saying? Not trying to get hit or whatever, trying to fire on him. So he was like, all right, cuz, I'm gonna have like my little homies come because I don't have to win for this,
Big
right?
U started harassing the marathon store until the infamous melee.
So, we end up having to come talk about that. Pull up the homies, and Nip admit it's wrong, but still there's some consequences to your wrong. I came to pick him up that morning so he can get his discipline. And his brother got in the way, talking about my brother not going nowhere. If I was his brother, I'd have did the same thing. Like, you're not going nowhere with I would have did the same. But I mean, you not from Sixties though. And you're not from the hood, so, you can't really speak on hood business. And
so the next day, TD and them came and he was just doing
Sam
bull
had that
or whatever
blower
like that.
and pop that
So
thing.
they try to come. Big U tell Nip, get in the car. You gonna go on Bryanhurst and you gonna get down, right? Black Sim like, you ain't taking my brother nowhere. You get what I'm saying? And he tried to pull him out the car. When he tried to pull him out the car or whatever like that, Nip looked over and he was like, listen, long as you don't, me, we good. So,
as long as you don't kill me, we're good.
No. So, Fats, right? My homie Fats.
You're talking about another situation.
I'm talking about the same situation.
The situation this happened when Black Sam busted in the
No,
air.
he did bust in the air, but
that's about 1
Big U tried to fire on Fats.
Fats put him on his pockets.
And then Fats put him on his pockets.
I got a call on that one.
He put him on his pockets, right? So, Fats is like 5'4".
Nip seen the play and teed off on him. Or let's do it like football. Go. Teed off on that man, sidewinding. He broke out into an all-world melee.
Ooh.
He walking this dude down. Dudes jump in, trying to pack him out. But here come Pops to the rescue with that bat. Whacka, 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 whacka. Ooh-wee knots all across Big U head. But Big U team was having the momentum until Fast rode in hot. Jumped out, slammed Big U
That's
against
when Black
the wall.
Sand came out, pulled out the pistol, bust in the air trying to stop it. Somehow
Good shot,
police
dude.
arrived 30 seconds later.
How many fights I done had in this parking lot, I can't count, man. How many fights Fats had, my brother had, we can't count. How many, incidents with the police right here. Let me show you something. So, if you look where Ant's standing right there, that's where my brother was standing, and if you look where, let me show you, standing about right here. You know, this where the police was busting from. And police is trained shooters. Police don't miss. And you know, he busting like this in a full clip. And he didn't hit my brother at all.
Somehow Big U went in and went out. I guess the grid program is like a fast pass at Disneyland. Everything expedited.
That's what he feed me. Come to find out, Black Sam was off parole. Black Sam indeed had to bail out. Big U was the one that they let out. No strings attached. He turned into grid worker when all this hit the fan. He's got pulled over down the street.
The next night, they called a meeting. Both the feds called Big U out for the fade. Big U wanted no parts of it. And you know Big U, he can't live down embarrassment. He gotta get you one way or another. What's the plan? Well, both the feds, he was running a weed shop. And you know Big U was extorting the weed shops. He couldn't extort fats though, so he tried every way possible. First, by attacking the weed shops.
Find them niggas by them all. Trap right there.
You left the bitch. So scary. Oh, things like that. Damn, bro. The bait was too.
Let me get this off.
Fats by offering weed at a super discounted price. After a few deals, Fats got comfortable.
Until this one mysterious day, he get a call. I got some more flight, bro. Come outside. Man, they had security, so both the Fats in there in flip-flops and shorts, marathon shirt. He comfy, like chestnuts roasting over an open fire. He come outside in flip-flops, looking both ways, looking for this dude. Like, where he at? He said he right here on the corner of West Boulevard and 59th. Dude's still on the phone with him. Oh, you gotta walk to the corner. I'm right here on the corner. I parked over here. Dead homies. By the time he made it to that corner, he was ambushed. And that dude was the last one seen rolling off. Allegedly. Asked the trenches though. Man, the whole city was crying.
R.I.P. Fats, man. R.I.P. Nipsey. Man, I don't think Nipsey was the same after this. And I really believe Nipsey only started rocking with Big U again because he was tired of dealing with the BS. Big U had too much power in the hood. But again, this is all alleged. But what's not alleged is I got proof of Cowboy backdooring Nipsey Hussle after his death.
What?
Give me
This
500 likes
Cowboy
and I'll
backdooring
drop
Nipsey
it
Hussle?
ASAP.
Yo, hit the like on this video, chat. We need that chat. Well, hold up.
Nipsey Hussle after his death. Give me 500 likes and I'll drop it ASAP.
Okay, chat. What we got? Big Rico, Big Review, Rico Operation Drawdown. Let's hit this right here.
We want to know why would somebody do that to a person that was leading the whole community? Why? We want to know why.
Me too. But before we get into it, please like the video. And if you're not entertained by the end of it, unlike enough. Now let's get into it. I want to know why are you crying, Cowboy? Because not only a few months after Nipsey died, you shot a music video at the same place he died at. And you was looking happy as ever.
This is the exact spot where Nipsey got shot. Now Cowboy's out here doing a video and scares the heck out of Fat's cousin who's sitting here watching. I guess he's thinking in his mind, like, what the heck? But watch this.
I know how you like it. No, I won't wife it. You could be my side chick, not the one I ride with. It's the one I slide with. When it's time to ride, it's so hard. Nah, Cowboy was wildin' right after Nipsey died. And you could tell he was always envious of Nipsey by his actions after Nipsey died. I mean, look at how he was at the strip mall. He's shooting music videos, taking pics with fans, and he's walking around like he owned them up. Like he was Nipsey. If you say that's reaching, okay, you know how Nipsey be having the marathon grand openings? How Cowboy start having them too after Nipsey died.
LA prolific, you know, we up in here, you know what I mean? So, and we here to stay. So, I'm going to cut this ribbon. Let's not go check out the merch. Appreciate y'all support.
Is he reaching?
Yeah.
The crazy part is, he's doing grand openings for a store that's full of bootleg clothing. If that ain't enough, this should seal the deal. Nipsey Hussle get a mural. How the hell Cowboy get one already? The man's still living. But we not done with them whys, Cowboy. We want to know why you and Big U are so quick to defend each other when it comes to your relationship with Nipsey Hussle.
Well, regardless to me or with Big U, when I heard any information concerning me or Big U, it was never a question about Big U. I know Big U loved them. Big U always had money. Big U. So it was never no question. I never questioned. I know that really had love for them.
But both of you guys have been trying to backdoor Nipsey not even months after he passed away. Big U tried to steal the marathon trademark through the Crips LLC owner.
What? Big U wanted to do for itself, right? Him and Suge.
Yeah, Big U and Suge wanted it, and he, you know, it was the conversations with Suge, you know, well, you know, make sure the most important thing is that it's trademarked for clothes, and the next thing, it needs to be trademarked, you know. And I mean, these was conversations that he and I were having, and but I know what I'm doing, you know. I'm not going. It's just my integrity, you know. I'm not gonna get down on that boy like that for him.
Big U tried the same thing with me.
Nipsey.
Hey,
Big U trying to get the
act like
marathon brand.
You got control. I sold you. You brought me out of my Nipsey contracts. You go sue the estate.
Iller.
I put them all up.
Iller than most.
3 days after Nipsey was dead.
I don't know, Chad. I don't know.
He wanted me to double back.
We all the good people, I guess.
And sue the estate. But yet when he was here, him and Nipsey already had an understanding on what that was and what that wasn't. He didn't want to do it, like she said from the beginning. He's never going to do nothing himself. He always going to try to get somebody else to do it. In the same situation, they wanted her to trademark it, and then they had to put on these shows and did all these things and stood behind it like they didn't know what was going on. But it ain't us, it's her. We doing something with her. Whole time it's them that brought the play. That's how he plays.
See, what's crazy is these jealous, envious OGs, allegedly, man, their actions, you can see the pattern. Like Big U or Rayshawn Williams and unaliving them over the diss song, similar to him getting into it with Nipsey. But whatever happened after Nipsey died, Cowboy has been thriving better than ever. Since that play did so good, let's try another one. Well, a few months later, there was somebody else that died in the same area of a young man named Dominique Minion Paul. R.I.P. And allegedly, this video was the night of the stabbing.
It might be like this much, it might be this much in the bottom. It might be a little bottom.
Dominique Minion Paul, a 24-year-old black man, died Thursday, June 20th, after he was fatally stabbed in the 3400 block of West Lawson Avenue in Hyde Park. According to Los Angeles County coroner's records, about 1:15 a.m. on a Sunday, June 16th, officers responded to a call of a loud party in the area, police said. When officers arrived, they were directed to an alley behind a shopping center and found Paul with stab wounds. Paul was taken to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead on June 20th at 11:25 p.m. According to the coroner's records, investigators believe that a group of people were hanging out in the parking lot of the Marathon clothing store when Paul got into a verbal dispute with another person. The two went into the alley and the other person stabbed him. Detectives are seeking witnesses.
Everybody over here ain't got nothing to do with that. You hear me? We can control her. I'm gonna give you your space so we can get my homie up out of here. I respect you as a person, and I'm gonna give you your space, and I respect that. Sis, chill out. Get my homie up out of here. Yeah. Clear away, please. No need to be like that.
I'm talking to you. How may be?
But you overly like.
We know we gotta do it.
But you are a person. And I respect that first.
I'm asking you for help.
You are a person. I respect that first. So, can you please help my homie? And this is no problem for us.
We gotta move. Get out the way. Get out the way. You tell everybody get out the way. Get out the way. Still breathing. You still breathing.
You're straight, bro.
How is this backdoor Nipsey? Well, the family of Dominique Mignon Paul sued Nipsey Hussle's company, Slauson and Crenshaw Ventures LLC. They said, since it's by the Marathon store, you guys are responsible and we want money for it. Well, in court, they argued that Nipsey Hussle's company employed an individual who is Cowboy, who supervises the whole area, including the alley. Mind you, this is after Nipsey Hussle died and the store shut down. Cowboy was not working for the store, but they're trying to put it on him. Nipsey Hussle, Black Sam and Company argued Cowboy didn't work for no damn Marathon store. It's shut down. How could he work for the store? But what did Cowboy do in court? He testified against Nipsey Hussle and Black Sam. He said Black Sam was his boss and was paying him. This whole time, Cowboy has been working with the family to sue Nipsey Hussle's company, allegedly. Well, you might be asking, now we want to know why, Cowboy. Why did you testify against Nipsey Hussle and his family? And not only did you testify, you lied. You know damn well you didn't work for Black Sam months after Nipsey died. Family wasn't messing with you, and the store was closed. If you can answer that why, we off Cowboy forever. And we front row at every Cowboy concert.
Lean, styrofoam cup. Catch me in the hood with the tiny loaves pouring up. And everybody know I been going up. In every hood function I been showing up. I'm a hood. Watch me throw it up. When I'm on the dance floor, I do my stuff. Lean to the side. What? Purple in the cup got me turned right up.
We gotta think, chat. We gotta think. Is this fire, chat? Is this fire? Is that bars, chat?
Man, like, comment, subscribe. And I'm not done with the content. You get me to another 500 likes on this video here, I'm gonna drop Big U taking the Big U Rico on the U.S. tour from St. Louis to Jersey and more. Welcome to the Operation Draws Down, aka the Big U Rico Breakdown. This is part 1, basically the introduction, but it gets into information about Nipsey Hussle. That's definitely gonna have you thinking, what's next? Now let's get straight into it. Affidavit. I, Andrew James Rusa, being duly sworn, declare and state as follows. Introduction. I am a special agent and SA with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, and have been employed since September 2018. I am currently assigned to a criminal enterprise squad at the Orange County Resident Agency of the FBI, where I am tasked with investigating violent gangs and organized criminal enterprises. From March 2019, month and date when Nipsey died, RIP, through December 2024, when I am joined with the Orange County Resident Agency, I was assigned to the Los Angeles Field Office investigating violent gangs and organized criminal enterprises, in conjunction with the Los Angeles Metropolitan Task Force on Violent Gangs, the LAMTFVG, a multi-agency federal, state, and local gang task force. My experience as an SA with the FBI includes, but is not limited to, conducting physical surveillance, executing search and arrest warrants, working with informants, issuing subpoenas, analyzing pen register and trap and trace records, interviewing subjects and witnesses, consensually monitored meetings and telephone calls, analyzing financial records, and conducting court-authorized interception of wire communication. I have received training in the investigation of violations of federal law, including racketeering, law laws and federal drug conspiracy laws, and have personally participated in and assisted with several gang investigations involving racketeering and drug conspiracies. Purpose of affidavit. This affidavit is made in support of a criminal complaint and arrest warrants for Eugene Henley Jr., also known as Big U, aka Draws, aka Hannibal, aka Hannibal Muhammad, aka Anybody Killer, aka David Austin, Sylvester Robinson, aka Vay, and Mark Martin, aka Bear Claw, for a violation of Title 18, United States Code, Section 1962D, racketeer influence in corrupt organizations conspiracy. Termaine Ashley Williams, aka Loose Cannon, for a violation of Title 18, United States Code, Section 1951A, interference with commerce by robbery. Armani Afliji, aka Mani, for a violation of Title 18, United States Code, Section 2421A, transportation of an individual in interstate commerce with the intent that the individual engage in prostitution. And Frederick Blayton Jr. and Tiffany Chinkira Hines for a violation of Title 18, United States Code, Section 13441, bank fraud. The facts set forth in this affidavit are based upon my personal observations, my training and experience, and information obtained from various law enforcement personnel and witnesses. This affidavit is intended to show merely that there is sufficient probable cause for the requested complaint and warrants, and does not purport to set forth all of my knowledge of or investigation into this matter, unless specifically indicated otherwise. All conversations and statements described in this affidavit are related in substance and in part only. All amounts are approximate, and all dates and times are on or about those indicated. The person's property and premises to be searched. This affidavit is also made in support of warrants to search the following: person of Henley, as described in attachment A1, a black 2021 Mercedes, and believed to be used by Henley, registered to Henley, bearing California license plate AETW346 Henley Mercedes, as described in attachment A2. Henley's residence at 4159 West 62nd Street, Los Angeles, California 90043. Henley's 62nd Street premises, as described in attachment A3. Henley's residence at 5847 Arlington Avenue, Los Angeles, California 90043. Henley's Arlington premises, as described in attachment A4. The person of Robinson, as described in attachment A5. Robinson's residence at 17720 Superior Street, Unit 111, Northridge, California 91325. Robinson's premises, as described in attachment A6. The person of Martin, as described in attachment A7. Martin's residence 3061 South Robertson Boulevard Apartment 5, Los Angeles, California 90034. Martin's premises, as described in attachment A8. And the business of the Ex-Offender Fellowship Network, doing business as Developing Options and other names Developing Options, located at 544 Crenshaw Boulevard, Suites 202 and 203, Los Angeles, California 90034. Developing Options premises, as described in attachment A9. Attachment A1 through A9 are incorporated herein by reference. Items to be seized. The items to be seized from Henley's Mercedes, Henley's 62nd premises, Henley's Arlington's premises, are evidence, fruits, and instrumentalities of violations of 18 USC Section 1962D, racketeer influenced and corrupt organizations conspiracy, 18 USC Section 1962C, unlawful debt collection, 1951A, conspiracy to interference, and attempted interference with commerce by robbery and extortion, 924C, use of a firearm in furtherance furtherance of a crime of violence. 2421A, transportation of an individual in interstate commerce with the intent that the individual engage in prostitution. 1343, wire fraud. 666A, 1A, embezzlement, conversion, and intentional misapplication of funds from organization receiving federal funds. 1344, bank fraud. 1014, false statement to a financial institution. 7201, attempt to evade or defeat income tax. 7203, willful failure to file tax return. And 18, obstruction of justice. Henley's subject offenses, as described in attachment B1, which is incorporated herein by reference. The items to be seized from Robinson's premises, Martin, and Martin's premises are evidence, fruits, and instrumentalities of violations 1962D, racketeer influenced and corrupt organization, conspiracy to interfere, interference, and attempted interference with commerce by robbery and extortion. 924C, use of a firearm in furtherance of a crime of violence. 18, obstruction of justice. Robinson's and Martin's subject offenses, as described in attachment B2, which is incorporated herein by reference. The items to be seized from developing options premises are evidence, fruits, and instrumentalities of violations of 1962D, racketeer influence and corrupt organizations, conspiracy. 1343, wire fraud. 1951A, conspiracy to interference, and attempted interference with commerce by extortion. 6661A1, embezzlement, conversion, and intentional misapplication of funds from organization receiving federal funds. 1344, bank fraud. 1014, false statement to a financial institution. 26 USC S 1014, 7201, attempt to evade or defeat income tax. And 7203, willful failure to file tax return. Developing options, subject offenses, as described in attachment B3, which is incorporated herein by reference. The summary of investigation. In February 2021, the FBI Los Angeles Metropolitan Task Force, the LAMTFVG, launched an investigation into Henley's criminal enterprise, the Big U Enterprise, and its association with the Rolling 60s neighborhood Crip Street Gang, the Rolling 60s, which the LAMTFVG began investigating in August 2020. The Big U Enterprise is a mafia-like organization that utilizes Henley's stature and long-standing association with Rolling 60s and other street gangs to intimidate businesses and individuals in Los Angeles. The Big U Enterprise is led by Henley. Henley is a self-admitted member and an original gangster, or OG, of the Rolling 60s, a violent criminal street gang of associated sets in several other states. Henley is widely regarded as a leader within the Rolling 60s. In the 1980s, Henley rose to prominent position in the Los Angeles drug and Rolling 60s hierarchies. During this time, Henley also earned a reputation as an enforcer for the Rolling 60s. Some members of the Big U Enterprise are also members of the Rolling 60s. Henley is able to lead the Big U Enterprise because of his standing as the face of the Rolling 60s for decades and his reputation for violence, including murder. On a side note, in interviews, Henley has stated that he believes his story is the modern day mafia story. At times, the Big U Enterprise partners with members and associates of the Rolling 60s and other criminal elements for mutual benefit. The Big U Enterprise is a distinct and independent criminal enterprise engaged in criminal activity. Members and associates of the Big U Enterprise are engaged to illegal activities including extortion, robbery, murder, human trafficking, wire fraud, bank fraud, other financial crimes, obstruction of justice, illegal debt collection, illegal gambling, conspiracy to commit fraud via illegal gambling, and and other offenses
Damn,
is
bro,
furtherance of the Big U enterprise and for the benefits of its members and associates. As set forth in detail below, through the course of investigation, agents gathered information from a variety of sources, including confidential human sources, surreptitious recordings, including Title III wiretaps, search warrants for social media, iCloud, and Google accounts, financial records from both individuals and companies or organizations, toll records showing communication between conspirators, victims, and Big U enterprise members and associates, cell site location information from numerous phones, including Henley's, Robinson's, and Martin's, City of Los Angeles records, public filings, and other publicly available information, and interviews of witnesses and victims. The investigations employed various additional investigative techniques, including surveillance, vehicle tracking, poll cameras, recording devices, interaction with confidential sources, and information gleaned through undercover purchases of firearms and narcotics. The United States District Court for Central District of California authorized multiple Title III wire and electronic interception orders for telephones being used by certain subjects of the investigation, including Henley, Robinson, Martin, and Zaire Mitchell, aka Brick Baby. The court also authorized the interception, audio and visual, nonverbal conduct via closed circuit television, CCTV, through the installation of video and audio bugs in the location. Since the inception of this investigation, the FBI, Internal Revenue Service, the IRS, Criminal Investigation, the IRSCI, United States Attorney Office for the Central District of California, North Las Vegas Police Department, the Los Angeles Police Department, and other local agencies have interviewed more than 50 individuals, including subjects of investigations, who agreed to voluntarily provide information as discussed further below. Based on information learned from these individuals and other sources, the FBI SAs, special agents, the IRS CISAs, the NLVPD detectives, and the LAPD detectives requested and obtained additional search warrants and subpoenas. Below, I summarize the information and evidence obtained thus far from these various investigative tools. On another side note, Mitchell is the subject of a separate sealed indictment pending in case number 225-CR-0132. In certain points below, I summarize wire and electronic communication that investigators intercepted pursuant to court orders. In other points, I quote from or paraphrase agents' understanding of those interceptions were relevant to the requested complaint and warrants. The investigation remains ongoing. Summary of probable cause. Henley, Robinson, and Martin, and others known and unknown, are members of the Big U enterprise, a criminal organization whose members and associates engage in, among other things, murder, kidnapping, robbery, extortion, interstate transportation for the purpose of prostitution, bank fraud, wire fraud, embezzlement, and obstruction of justice. The Big U enterprise operates within the Central District of California and elsewhere. The Big U enterprise, including its leaders, members, and associates, constituted an enterprise as defined by Title 18, United States Code Section 19614. That is a group of individuals associated, in fact, that engaged in and the activities of which affected interstate and foreign commerce. The Big U enterprise constituted an ongoing organization whose members and associates function as a continuing unit for a common purpose of achieving the purpose of the Big U enterprise. The purpose of the Big U enterprise includes, but are not limited to, the following: enriching Big U enterprise members and associates by using the power and the status of the Big U enterprise, and Henley as the original gangster in the rolling 60s to commit extortion, fraud, and other crimes, promoting, protecting, and expanding the power, reputation, and profits of the Big U enterprise and its members and associates through the use of intimidation, fear, violence, threats of violence, assaults, extortion, and murder. Using social media platforms, documentaries, podcasts, interviews, and Henley's reputation and the status to create fame for and stoke fear of the Big U enterprise and its members and associates, financially enriching the Big U enterprise members and associates by defrauding donors to nonprofit entities under the control of the Big U enterprise and its members and associates, including developing options, financially enriching Big U enterprise members and associates by defrauding federal, state, and local agencies the awarded grants and other financial support to nonprofit entities under the control of the Big U enterprise and its members and associates, including developing options, financially enriching Big U enterprise by defrauding mortgage lending businesses to make loans to employees of the entities under the control of Big U enterprise and its members and associates, including Unique Music Entertainment, and developing options, gratifying Big U enterprise members and associates by trafficking and exploiting sex workers and concealing and protecting the illegal activities of the Big U enterprise and its members and associates from the detection of law enforcement through means that included, among other things, witness tampering and obstruction of justice, beginning no later than 2010 and continuing to the present. In Los Angeles County, within the Central District of California and elsewhere, Henley, Robinson, and Martin, each being a person employed by and associated with the Big U enterprise, an enterprise engaged in and the activities of which affected interstate and foreign commerce, knowingly and intentionally conspire to violate Title 18 United States Code Section 1962C to conduct and participate directly and indirectly in the conduct of the affairs of the Big U enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity, as that term is defined in Title 18 United States Code Section 19611 and 19615, which pattern of racketeering consisted of multiple acts involving murder, kidnapping, chargeable under the Nevada Revised Statutes, robbery, extortion, chargeable under California Penal Code, multiple acts indictable under wire fraud, financial institution fraud, and relating to interference with commerce, robbery, or extortion, and relating to interstate transportation for the purpose of prostitution. It was further part of the conspiracy that Henley, Robinson, and Martin agreed that a conspirator would commit at least 2 acts of racketeering activity in the conduct of the affairs of the Big U enterprise. Henley, Robinson, Martin, and other members and associates of the Big U enterprise conducted and participated in the conduct of the affairs of the Big U enterprise through the following means and methods, among others. Members and associates of the Big U enterprise committed, conspired, attempted, and threatened to commit acts of violence, including murder, armed assaults, robberies, extortions, acts of intimidation, and threats of violence to generate income, an atmosphere of fear, protect and expand the Big U enterprise's reputation for violence, and expand the Big U enterprise's criminal operations. Members and associates of the Big U enterprise used Henley's history and reputation, including his connections to the violent Rolling 60 street gang, to tout to the Big U enterprise's reputation for violence and that the Big U enterprise controlled Los Angeles. As part of the Big U enterprise purported control of Los Angeles, individuals including professional athletes, musicians, and others intending to conduct certain types of business in Los Angeles, including both legitimate and illicit criminal conduct, were required to check in with Henley prior to traveling to Los Angeles or engaging in certain activities to obtain protection from the Big U enterprise while in Los Angeles. Henley hosted a podcast titled Checking In, the opening theme song of which explained when you hop off the plane, check in. Penthouse suite, check in. When your feet hit the street, check in. Cause if not, bitch get hot, check in. You better check in. The check-in included both a payment to Big U Enterprise as well as requesting permission for Henley to conduct certain activities, including acts of violence that were sanctioned by the Big U Enterprise, as Henley described in a documentary film that he produced about his life titled Hip Hop Uncovered. If I didn't pick up the phone, that can mean death for somebody. As Henley stated in the Nothing to Something podcast, you gonna check in, you could choose not to, and it's gonna be a problem. You choose not to check in, you suffer the consequences. On a side note, based on my training and experience, I know that members of Crip affiliated gangs do not use the letters CK together, because members of the rival blood affiliated gangs use CK to refer to Crip killer. Therefore, Crip gang members often replace CK with CC. You feel like you got something bigger than what's there, and that not checking in is basically an act of war. It ain't one human being who not gonna check in. While members and associates of the Big U Enterprise used Henley's and Big U Enterprise history and reputation to control Los Angeles through violence, fear, and intimidation, Henley simultaneously attempted to create an air of legitimacy for the Big U Enterprise by promoting himself as a reformed gang member focused on bettering his community. Purported non-profit organizations he founded, such as Developing Options and soliciting donations from celebrities and grants from the government and foundations to these charitable organizations. In actuality, Henley and other members and associates of the Big U Enterprise used these purported non-profit entities to enrich and further the objective of the Big U Enterprise, including by embezzling funds meant as charitable donations to the non-profit entities, using the non-profit entities to fraudulently apply for government assistance and loans, and using the non-profit entities to falsify employment and financial records to personally benefit members and associates of the Big U Enterprise. Members and associates of the Big U Enterprise would discipline other members and associates acted in ways seen as detrimental to the Big U Enterprise, or other individuals who were seen as disrespecting the Big U Enterprise or its members, including acts of violence such as assaults, kidnapping, and murder. Members and associates of the Big U Enterprise will avoid detection by law enforcement by, among other activities, attempting to thwart and evade law enforcement surveillance, destroying video surveillance or other evidence, and threatening or otherwise pressuring victims or witnesses of crimes committed by members and associates of the Big U Enterprise, to avoid interaction with or to provide untruthful statements or testimony to law enforcement officers. In sum, there is probable cause to believe that, in furtherance of the Big U Enterprise, Henley kidnapped and murdered victim RW in retaliation for perceived disrespect to the Big U Enterprise, and endeavored to conceal the murder with other Big U Enterprise members and associates. Henley, Robinson, Martin, and Williams committed and arranged robberies to enrich the Big U Enterprise, further the extortions committed by the Big U Enterprise, and to create the impression of the Big U Enterprise controlled Los Angeles. Henley, Robinson, and Martin extorted individuals in Los Angeles for purported protection, when such protection was actually violence committed by the Big U Enterprise itself. Henley and Affleji arranged for the interstate transportation of individuals to engage in prostitution for Henley and Big U Enterprise members. Henley defrauded various companies, donors, and athletes and celebrities into providing donations to Big U Enterprise charities, only to transfer these donations to his own personal bank account for personal use. Henley fraudulently obtained funding from the city of Los Angeles' mayors through the Gang Reduction Youth Development Foundation, the GRID program, portions of which received federal funding. Henley defrauded and attempted to defraud the Small Business Association the SBA for loans that benefited the Big U enterprise. To enrich Blanton, a Big U enterprise associate who purported to work for the Big U enterprise charitable organization, Henley, Martin, and Blanton and Hines committed bank fraud by submitting a fraudulent mortgage application, and Henley, Robinson, and Martin and other members and associates of the Big U enterprise attempted to obstruct investigations into and conceal the above referenced crimes committed on behalf of the Big U enterprise. Statement of probable cause. Unless otherwise noted below, my knowledge of the facts summarized herein is based on my training and experience, my discussion with other investigators, my review of law enforcement reports, search warrants, and subpoenas returned, Title III wiretap interceptions, public domain interviews to include YouTube and podcast interviews and docuseries, electronics and other written communication, interviews of certain individuals, and City of Los Angeles records and other publicly available documents. Big U Enterprise. As discussed herein, I believe that Henley led the Big U Enterprise. Robinson was a years-long associate and confidant of Henley and served as his right-hand man, underboss, and enforcer in the Big U Enterprise. And Martin was also a close confidant and trusted lieutenant of Henley in the Big U Enterprise. Much of the Big U Enterprise structure and affiliation with the Rolling 60s is in the public domain. In the television series Hip Hop Uncovered, the docu-series, which Henley executive produced, Henley detailed the history of the Rolling 60s and his involvement with the gang. Henley admitted he was a Rolling 60s member from the first generation. Henley advised that the Rolling 60s was a large Crip gang known to instill fear in the community. Henley claimed that he did not have gang-related tattoos because people already knew where he was from, and it was never a question. A similar quote that Henley often repeated when asked why he has no gang tattoos. On a side note, based on my training, experience, and participation in this investigation, this statement corroborates precisely how the Big U Enterprise works to this day. Henley uses fear and his prominent association with the gang to further the Big U Enterprise's racketeering and profit from the same. Is that it isn't on you, it's in you. After encountering legal troubles as a juvenile, Henley moved from California to Chicago. Henley admitted elsewhere to being on the run and conducting illegal drug activities in Chicago. While Henley was living in Chicago, Henley decided to move back to Los Angeles to participate in the gang war after an associate's murder. Henley noted his mentality was that we're hunting. To us, it wasn't about fighting. It was about guns now. My philosophy was the gun can get you any and everywhere you need to be. After Henley returned to Los Angeles in the 1980s, he became known as a fighter for the Rolling 60s by fighting other gang members. As Henley recalled, those fights were about dominating the Rolling 60s competition. Henley remembered he and approximately 200 other Rolling 60s gang members went to a Run DMC concert at the Long Beach Convention Center to establish and maintain their dominance within the Los Angeles Bay Street gang scene. Henley characterized his and the Rolling 60s moral code at that time as get them before they get you. Throughout the 1980s, Henley fostered a fierce and earned reputation for violence, including multiple charges for the first-degree murder as well as a charge for attempted murder of a peace officer. According to these statements, Henley believed in 1987 he had cemented his reputation as a tough person that should not be crossed. Henley recounted serving time in the county jail where he would beat up other inmates for the purpose of establishing pecking order. Henley was also earning money through the drug trade in other cities, such as Minneapolis, where he realized he had an influence over other Rolling 60s gang members. When Henley was 22 years old, he claimed to stop selling drugs and transition to a different racket. He believed his moniker, Big U, was so big and ominous. Every time I go through that door, I really was a beast. That was the mentality. Despite having such power within the Rolling 60s, Henley did not have a reliable source of income outside of the drug trade. Henley subsequently connected with the hip-hop artist Kenneth Green, aka Papa LQ, and became his manager. The docuseries Papa LQ recounted that Henley was in tune with both hip-hop artists Ricardo Emmanuel Brown, aka Corrupt, a self-admitted Rolling 60s gang member. In 1991, Henley was found guilty and sentenced to 20 years in state prison for robbery, and he admitted he was also charged with kidnapping. While Henley was incarcerated, Henley stated maintained contact with Henley and ensured he was kept abreast of developing in the music industry. In 2022, on the podcast Dub C and Mac Show, Henley described himself as an enforcer in prison and recounted knocking somebody's eyeball out their socket, as well as committed stabbings. 2004, Henley was released from prison. In the docuseries, hip-hop artist Calvin Brodus Jr., aka Snoop Dogg, characterized Henley as institutionalized. You say the wrong thing, you gonna get messed up. He was short-tempered and serious about the stuff he was on. Something about him I liked, cause I felt like he was the leader. Henley claimed that he was focusing on healing his community. When he returned home from prison, according to Henley, his primary objective was to affect change and lift his community to a better place instead of destroying it. Henley's own words through the show the falsity of his claimed reformation. For example, on December 31st, 2022, on an intercepted call, Henley explained his motivation for committing murders on behalf of the Big U enterprise, stating, what you guys see on the internet, y'all keep hearing other people who don't have nothing to talk about but sell. Let me explain something to you. If I would have had a problem with any man, color, creed, king, or kind, the issue would have been resolved and he wouldn't be here, or I wouldn't be here. It ain't no kid, nothing. And it damn near nobody who been in this longer than me can stand against me and me be who I am. If I had a problem with any man, and this wouldn't be so funny to me, I'm still who they say I am. Similarly, on April 23rd, 2023, on the intercepted call, Henley discussed gang politics with a co-conspirator and stated, I'm retired activist. I'll pull up on your block right now and show up and show out. That's what happened to the last man that called me retired. According to the docuseries, as Henley transitioned life in Los Angeles following incarceration, he returned to the hip-hop industry. Corrupt connected Henley with Suge Knight, the former chief executive of Death Row Records. Henley recounted that Suge Knight assisted him financially when he was released from prison. Henley referred to himself as the Blue Suge Knight, as Henley, as of 2004, was widely regarded as the leader of the Rolling 60s. Because of this reputation, Henley was well positioned to ultimately form and lead the Big U enterprise. In approximately 2008, Henley formed a relationship with hip-hop Aramis Joseph Asghedom, aka Nipsey Hussle. After several years, Henley temporarily left the industry after he had a falling out with Nipsey Hussle related to the equipment at Henley's shop. Henley recounted in the docuseries that Nipsey Hussle made a diss song about Henley, but that Henley is a scrapper, not a rapper. On a side note, based on my training and experience, I know blue refers to the color associated with the Crip gang in Los Angeles, rather than the blood gangs that Suge Knight associated with. Based on my investigation, I believe that this provides background and corroborates that Big U Enterprises structure. Suge Knight openly hired members for Death Row Records, as Henley hires the Rolling 60s to work for his charities and companies, just as Henley operates on fear and threats. Suge Knight's criminal history is replete with criminal threats of violence and death. Suge Knight is currently incarcerated for purposely driving his car over two men, killing one. In a recent interview, Henley stated that outside of Suge Knight, Henley is the only person who has done more for the community, and that Henley has bailed out Suge Knight and paid for his lawyer. Henley stated after they settled the differences, he picked up Nipsey Hussle one morning so that Nipsey could get disciplined for the diss song. However, Nipsey Hussle's brother intervened and told Henley that Nipsey Hussle was not going anywhere. LAPD documented that violence erupted, and when the LAPD officers arrived on the scene, a firearm was present and discharged. In 2019, Nipsey was murdered by a member of the Rolling 60s.
Nipsey Hussle's brother is finally breaking his silence on the warning he gave Nip before his death, and it all leads back to Big U. The streets have been speculating for years, but now the feds have the receipts to back it up.
He was supposed to do a job, or somebody sent him or whatever, and he was nervous. He was supposed to hit that alley with that red shirt immediately, but he didn't do that. He came in and he wanted to check the scene. He wanted to make sure he wasn't getting into a shootout.
What you just heard is Black Sam telling us he's convinced that Eric Holder didn't take his brother out randomly. In fact, he was sent by someone to take Nip out, and we now have a strong reason to believe that person is Big U. Because, as you know, we just saw Big U getting indicted the other day, and that is no coincidence. Truth be told, rumors were always flying around about Big U's connection to Nipsey's. Loose Cannon told us about it on multiple occasions.
Big U, you keep posting pictures. Like, bro, nobody is believing that. That's after Nipsey death. Like, tell the world, like, you made the phone call. I'm not saying you had anything to do with it, right? Because
Lou said he made a phone call.
You knew what was going to happen.
Said he made a
and you gave
call.
the okay for it to happen. You didn't stop it.
And then he also confirmed it when Whack 100 tried to clarify the story on No Jumper.
You pretty much saying he called you, told you Nip got. You called Nip in a panic. He answered the phone. When you hear his voice, you like, well, Nip ain't dead, but you don't warn him what he said. 30 minutes later, you get a call after the fact, Nip dead.
Yeah. But Black Sam wasn't the only person aware of something sketchy going on with Nip's death. SKG said in a TMZ interview that Big U had a hand in Nipsey's death.
All the allegations are true, yeah.
I mean, why do you say so?
Because I was a victim, and the things that he has done to me, he's a monster, and everything that he's getting right now, he definitely deserves it.
SKG even went as far as calling Big U out on her IG page. She also posted a photo of her and Nip with a caption that wrote, "The truth is about to come out about what happened to you, Nip. No matter what we went through, I always wanted to see you win. You deserve to be here. That monster was always jealous of you. The jealousy was real, but your legacy surpassed their hate." On top of that, a federal complaint exposed just how bad things got between Nipsey and Big U. You see, they fell out over a dispute about equipment, and Nipsey even dropped a diss track called "You Don't Got a Clue" aimed at him. Things escalated when Big U tried to get Nipsey disciplined over the song, but Nipsey's brother wasn't having it. Reports say the situation turned violent, shots were fired, and LAPD had to step in. Now, to be clear, Eric Holder was convicted for Nipsey's death, and nothing in the complaint directly pins it on Big U. But here's where it gets crazy. Big U is currently facing federal charges for running what prosecutors call a mafia-like operation. The list of accusations includes extortion, human trafficking, and fraud. While the feds aren't linking those charges to Nipsey's death, the allegations against Big U are stacking up, and his history with Nip, combined with these new claims, has people wondering if there's more to the story. Now, there's a handful of people who paint a dark picture of Big U. First one in line is SKG, who we already mentioned. You see, SKG's been vocal about the ways Big U victimized her. First, she claims Big U assaulted her while she was pregnant, right at Nipsey Hussle's shop. According to her, Nipsey and his late associate Fats actually set her up for the attack after Big U felt disrespected during a meeting with LA radio station KDAY. Beyond that, SKG says Big U has been using fear tactics to extort local businesses in Crenshaw for years, calling him a major menace to the community. The emotional toll of dealing with him has been huge, and she's been open about how his actions have affected her mental health. Now that Big U is facing federal charges, including extortion and conspiracy, SKG is breathing a little easier. She even reached out to the family of Rayshawn Williams, who is believed to be taken out by Big U himself in 2021, showing her support for other victims. But SKG isn't stopping there. She's warning people to stay alert about possible ties between Big U and other crimes, including Nipsey's. While Big U continues to deny many of these claims, her testimony is adding fuel to the fire, exposing the lasting damage she says he's caused. Speaking of Fats, it's also believed that Big U had something to do with his passing too. As you probably know, Fats was a close friend of Nipsey and a key figure in the All Money and Records crew. He lost his life in 2017, just a short distance from where Nipsey would later be killed. Fats was working security at a marijuana dispensary in Hyde Park when a light-colored sedan rolled by, and someone inside fired shots. The whole thing went down on September 29th, right on West Boulevard. Now, when it comes to Big U, there's no solid evidence tying him to Fats' murder. What's got people talking is the fact that Big U is now facing federal charges for running a criminal enterprise, charges that include and extortion. That led to renewed attention on old cases, including Fats' death. But as of now, we only got rumors linking Big U to the shooting. The LAPD is still investigating, and they've been looking for more info on the case for a while. And of course, we have to tell the background story of Nip and Big U, because that's where the real motive is. And it really makes you wonder if Big U could have been behind the hit. There's been a lot of talk about Fats' death and Big U's involvement. Big U has always denied any connection, saying he was out of town when it happened. But in the streets, people have a different story. The tension between Big U and Nipsey started after Nipsey cut ties with him. Big U wasn't happy about it and tried to block Nip's success. One major incident was when Big U pulled up to the studio and took back all the equipment he had set up for Nipsey's team. After that, Nipsey stayed focused and was even shooting a music video with YG when he got word of a possible setup. Instead of walking into it, Nip and his team switched locations. Big U and his people showed up later, causing trouble and trying to shut down the shoot. At one point, Nipsey confronted Big U directly, asking why he was working against him. Big U was upset about Nipsey associating with YG and accused him of making a diss track. Things escalated, and Big U threw a water bottle at Nip, which led to them stepping outside to fight. People assumed Big U would win, but Nipsey held his own, and Big U even had to call for backup. After that, Big U allegedly kept pressuring Nipsey's businesses, leading to another incident at the Marathon store. Big U and his crew pulled up, trying to intimidate Nipsey into taking his discipline. But Black Sam stepped in and refused to let anything happen. Things got heated, and a brawl broke out. Shots were fired in the air, police arrived, and while Big U walked free, Black Sam ended up in jail. Fats, who was close to Nipsey, was also running his own businesses. There were rumors that Big U was trying to extort him, but Fats wasn't going for it. At some point, Fats was lured out by someone offering him a deal on some product. Thinking it was just business, he went outside in flip-flops and a Marathon shirt. He was told to walk to a specific corner, and that was the last time he was seen alive. He was ambushed, and witnesses say they saw someone driving off after the hit. Fats' death hit the community hard, just like Nipsey's did later. But now Big U is arrested, and we might get more answers.
This is my last video before I turn myself in.
Big U is facing some serious federal charges. Authorities have hit him with accusations of conspiracy under the RICO Act, capital M, extortion, trafficking, and fraud. As you just saw, he turned himself in the other day after initially being on the run. The next day, he appeared in federal court, where the judge decided to keep him in custody at least until his next hearing. Prosecutors believe Big U has been running a mafia-style criminal operation called Big U Enterprise since 2010, using his connections with the Rollins 60s to carry out illegal activities. The biggest accusations they got on his so far is his involvement in the 2021 death of Rayshawn Williams, fraudulently obtaining COVID-19 relief funds, and stealing donations from his nonprofit, Developing Options, which had high-profile donors like NBA players. But all of this is also a part of a larger crackdown called Operation Drawdown, which has already led to the arrests of several other gang members and associates. If convicted, Big U could be looking at life in federal prison. He's already taken to social media, denying everything and calling the charges an attempt to destroy his reputation. But these charges might not even be the only ones. If what SKG, Black Sam, Luce, and many others are saying is true, Big U could be in even bigger trouble than he thinks. Put in comments. Do you think Big U was behind Nipsey's death? Let us know about it down below.
You get a call from Big U telling you Nipsey just got killed.
Yeah.
You panic, call Nip. Nip answer the phone.
Yeah.
30 minutes after you get off the phone with Nip, he get killed.
Yeah, I got it.
So you think he hit you a little too early?
Yep.
Eugene Henley Jr., a career criminal known as Big U, who used his contacts and leadership role in the Crips criminal gang.
What's happening, CJ? Hope your night is good. You said yeah?
Criminal enterprise.
Yeah, it's looking pretty wild. It's looking pretty wild.
Extortion.
A lot of evidence saying and suggestion it was Big U behind Nipsey Hussle murder.
Last video, I'm going to go turn myself in to see what's going on. talking about I'm a fugitive. So they just raided all my houses. When they raided my houses and my property, they was asking about whack. Whack, loose cannon, 600, and this internet stuff.
So Big U has officially been taken into custody, and the charges against him are insane. He's being accused of running a full-on mafia-style criminal operation in Los Angeles involving everything from murder to human trafficking, robbery, and extortion.
South LA crime boss Eugene Big U Henley is now in custody. Authorities say he ran a mafia-like organization while masquerading as a music mogul and gang peacemaker.
This whole situation is already wild on its own, but what's really got people talking is how it ties back to one major thing: the murder of Nipsey Hussle. For years, there have been whispers that Big U played a major role in Nipsey's death, and now with this new indictment, people are looking back at everything with fresh eyes, reanalyzing past events, revisiting old videos, and questioning things that might have been overlooked before. One of the biggest things making waves right now is a video of Loose Cannon where he claims Big U knew that Nipsey was going to get killed 30 minutes before it happened.
You get a call from Big U telling you Nipsey just got killed.
Yeah.
You panic, call Nip. Nip answered the phone.
Yeah.
According to Luce, he actually spoke to Nipsey right before the shooting, but never thought much of what Big U had supposedly said at the time. He didn't take it too seriously.
You don't even warn him that you got that call from dude.
No, because their relationship was so it'd be like, they'd be hot one minute.
That means Big U might have slipped up by reaching out too early before Nipsey was murdered.
Then they'd be lukewarm, like you
and
just
30 minutes after you get out the phone with Nip, he get killed.
Yeah, I got it.
So you think he hit you a little too early?
But that's not all. There have been other times when Loose Cannon has outright accused Big U of backdooring Nipsey.
Big U, you keep posting pictures. Like, bro, nobody is believing that. That's after Nipsey death. Like, but you knew what was gonna happen, and you gave the okay for it to happen. You didn't stop it.
Another video in particular is one video showing Nipsey seemingly trying to warn other members of the Rollin' 60s Crips to stay away from the likes of Big U and his circle.
Jealous of young niggas. It's a lot of old niggas mad at niggas because they shit on, cuz. People grew up around these niggas wondering so spiteful toward young.
When you put that together with all the other allegations, it paints a picture that's got a lot of people thinking twice. Another clip that's gaining traction is one of Big U doing a live stream where he literally laughed at a comment about Nipsey.
Justice for Nip.
Justice for Nip ain't laughing. That's crazy.
A young boy would have been there like, yeah, you got it. You did.
All of this is bringing the conversation
That's
back to the
wild.
same question.
Y'all see
Was
that?
Big U the real
Y'all just see
mastermind
that?
behind Nipsey
He
Hussle's
laughed,
murder?
saying-
With his current legal troubles, a lot of
Basically
people
saying,
believe
like,
that the
laughing
truth
at
might
Nipsey Hussle
finally
death.
start coming to light. There's a lot to unpack here, so let's dive in deeper and break it all down.
That's
Big
Aaron
U and
Holder,
Nipsey
the killer
Hussle
of
weren't
Nipsey.
always at odds.
RP.
In fact, at one point, they were actually close business partners.
He really exudes everything that you need to exercise in business. So let's give this man a hand and clap it up for him.
Their relationship goes back to 2007 when Nipsey signed with Epic Records in preparation for what was supposed to be his debut studio album, South Central State of Mind. However, that album never saw the light of day, and as time went on, tension began to brew between Nipsey and Big U. The real breaking point was Nipsey wanted to cut ties with Big U's label. Allegedly, Nipsey felt trapped in a shady deal, one where he believed he was being extorted by Big U. But if you ask Big U, he has a different version of events. According to him, the conflict actually started when he stepped away from the music industry. During that time, Nipsey had possession of Big U's recording equipment, and when Big U wanted it back, Nipsey wasn't too happy about it. Eventually, Big U was able to recover his equipment, but that situation alone led to some serious friction between the two. From there, things just continued to spiral. Nipsey reportedly took offense to how Big U handled the situation, and their relationship started to shift. shift.
Nipsey, I heard
Then
Nipsey
came
beat
You
up,
Don't Got a Clue,
Big
a
U.
track that many believe was a direct diss aimed at Big U, especially in the first few lines.
Busy getting rich, you think that I'm gonna stop for you? I built this on my own and everybody know it's true.
Big U wasn't just going to let it slide either. After hearing the track, he and some of his people pulled up on Nipsey to confront him. According to sources, they didn't just want to check him, they wanted to discipline him. And that didn't involve any sort of peaceful conversation. They allegedly tried to take him away for a DP, or disciplinary action.
Nipsey dissed, right? And he was like, hey, cuz, is this song about me? So Nipsey stood up or whatever and was like, yeah.
But before things could go any further, Black Sam, Nipsey's brother, stepped in. Black Sam stood his ground, telling Big U that Nipsey wasn't going anywhere with him. Big U wasn't having it, warning Black Sam to stay out of it, saying this was gang business and reminding him that he was never actually from the 60s.
Black Sam said, cuz my brother ain't going nowhere. You was like, ain't from the hood or whatever like that. He was like, my brother ain't going nowhere.
But the tension between them didn't stop at just music and business. Their family ties added even more fuel to the fire. Nipsey's first baby mother was actually Big U's niece, and during that time, things between Nipsey and her weren't great. Nipsey didn't approve of the company she kept around their daughter. Allegedly, there were guns, drugs, and alcohol present, and Nipsey wasn't going to stand for it. One incident in particular escalated things further. Nipsey reportedly went over to his baby mother's house alone and ended up pistol whipping a guy she was involved with. The altercation got ugly, and the man was beaten so badly that he had to be taken to the hospital. In the chaos, it was said that his baby mother might have been hurt as well. Once Big U caught wind of what happened, he immediately pulled up to Nipsey's store to confront him. Heated words were exchanged and things quickly turned physical. According to sources, Big U beat Nipsey down, which led to Black Sam running inside to grab a pistol. In an attempt to break things up, Black Sam fired a warning shot in the air, but that only made things worse. Within moments, LAPD swarmed the scene. When the police arrived, they saw Black Sam with a gun still in his hand, and without hesitation, they opened fire on him. Miraculously, not a single bullet hit him. Instead of being killed, he was arrested on the spot, along with Nipsey and Big U. The three of them were taken to the 77th Street Division, but they all managed to bail out the next morning. Despite all the tension, Nipsey continued to rise in the music industry. In 2011, he started collaborating with YG, and that came with its own set of problems. At the time, it was not common to see Pyrus hanging out in 60s territory, but Nipsey wasn't one to follow outdated politics. When they filmed the Girls Ain't Ish video, Nipsey invited YG to the 60s, and that did not sit right with Big U. He made it known that he disapproved, and Nipsey had to defend his decision. He ended up fighting multiple Rollin' 60s members just to have YG there. That respect was mutual. YG later invited Nipsey into Treetop Pyru territory for another video shoot, and the two built a strong friendship from there. Over time, Nipsey's career skyrocketed. He went from being an underground street rapper to a Grammy-nominated artist. But even with all his success, the issues with Big U were still lurking in the background. At times, it seemed like things between them were cooling down. They would be on decent terms for brief moments, but there was always tension under the surface.
That he had written something in a song supposedly talking bad about Big U.
And on top of that, Big U had gained a reputation for allegedly extorting artists who wanted to come into 60s territory. According to rumors, any rapper or big-name artist looking to step foot in the neighborhood had to check in and pay a tax to Big U if they wanted to move around without any problems. Then came early 2019. He had linked up with DJ Khaled and John Legend for the song Higher and planned to shoot the music video in the 60s. But as soon as Big U heard about it, things took a turn. Allegedly, he sent a gang of Rollin' 60s members to press Nipsey about it. Nipsey stood his ground, but the pressure was overwhelming. In the end, he was forced to relocate the entire video shoot to the top of a parking structure in Inglewood. Security had to be beefed up as well because Nipsey was receiving death threats, supposedly from the Inglewood families, a dominant blood gang in the city. Then, just days later, Nipsey Hussle was murdered. Almost immediately, speculation began swirling that Big U had something to do with it. People started piecing together their rocky history, their past altercations, and the fact that Big U did not attend Nipsey's funeral. Another thing that really set people off, though, was a clip that began circulating online. It was a screen-recorded live stream of Big U where he laughed at a comment about Nipsey.
Justice for Nip. Justice for Nip, and they started laughing. It's wild.
But your boy would have been there like, yeah,
on my mama, bro, I swear to God, everybody that was showing this shit,
You did.
Nothing, you can't look by yourself, man.
And now, with these fresh charges surfacing, people are diving even deeper into old theories. On Wednesday, March 19th, federal authorities swooped in, arresting Big U and several alleged members of the Rollin' 60s neighborhood Crips, including rapper and No Jumper affiliate Brick Baby. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Central District of California, Big U was not just a high-ranking member of the gang, he was running it like a full-blown criminal empire under the name Big U Enterprise. The indictment accuses him of a laundry list of serious crimes: murder, extortion, robbery, sex trafficking, fraud, illegal gambling, and many more.
Eugene Henley Jr., a career criminal known as Big U, who used his contacts and leadership role in the Crips criminal street gang, the entertainment industry, to further his own criminal enterprise. An enterprise engaged in murder, extortion, robbery, trafficking, COVID fraud, and other felonies.
One of the most shocking allegations ties Big U to a 2021 murder. Federal prosecutors claim he was responsible for the killing of aspiring rapper Rayshawn Williams, who was signed to his label, Unique Music. Big U had flown Williams out to Vegas to record music, but something went left. Their schedule changed, and that reportedly caused tension between the two. Then Williams allegedly recorded a song dissing Big U. Not long after that, his body was found in a ditch near a landfill, shot in the face with a revolver, no shell casings left behind. A witness even claimed Big U showed up at the studio later that morning, looking drenched either in sweat or something else. But Big U's legal troubles don't stop at violent crimes.
They do say that part of the investigation involves the murder of another young rapper back in Las Vegas, that he had written something in a song supposedly talking bad about Big U, and that is why he ended up getting murdered.
Is also being accused of running major financial scams under the guise of community work. Turns out NBA stars Draymond Green and Shaquille O'Neal were caught up in this mess. Both athletes had donated $20,000 to Big U's nonprofit, Developing Options, thinking they were supporting youth programs in LA. Instead, prosecutors alleged that Big U was siphoning money into his own pockets. Big U's organization was also heavily involved with the city's Gang Reduction and Youth Development or GRID program, which is meant to steer young people away from crime. Between 2018 and 2023, Developing Options reportedly raked in a total of $2.35 million from the city, with Big U allegedly paying himself hundreds of thousands of dollars from the funds. This has raised serious concerns about just how much of that money was actually used for helping the community versus lining his own pockets. Right before turning himself in, Big U took to Instagram, hinting that his downfall was orchestrated by none other than Wack 100. He claimed Wack had played a role in getting the feds to come down on him, though he didn't provide any solid proof. Even with a storm of allegations against him, Big U doubled down on his stance that he was all about uplifting the community. If convicted on all charges, Big U could be looking at life behind bars in federal prison.
But there was a lot of big politics getting into it with certain people. You know, Hussle had DJ Khaled in the hood, and Hussle frontline that. And, you know, we felt like certain people didn't like that.
This view's a little old, but let's look into it.
This shit about someone being mad about the DJ Khaled video has to be Big U. What Black Sam did, he talked about certain things without talking about certain people. They did the Khaled thing and somebody wasn't happy about it. Oh shit, we remember Wack and Loose Cannon talking about what Khaled got rolled down on and what it was about and all this shit, right? For those of y'all, Nipsey dissed the shit out of Big U. It's a song out there. We dissed the fuck out of Big U.
We heard about
Big U got mad, went down there, right? This when he got set on his pockets, you know, by Fats, rest in peace, right? Went down there, this when Black Sam allegedly came out the story firing in the air. I think Black Sam told his truth. You know, you're doing a puzzle, you're like, I don't really know where these pieces go. So in Black Sam's interview, okay, these pieces fit here, 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 and there.
Right.
Black Sam just told his truth, right? Loose Cannon's stance was, he got a call saying Nipsey was dead on FaceTime. When he called Nip, he wasn't dead. And then 30 minutes later, he got a call that Nip was dead. That nigga, you knew something, so why you didn't call your quote-unquote little brother and warn him? Hey, homie, where you at? I'm hearing something, get up out of there. That's his whole thing. That was Luce's whole thing.
And
talk about Luce Canyon.
From my understanding, old boy walked up with no shirt on first to check the scene because he know what's going on in that parking lot, and had a conversation. Probably seen nobody was in the doorways. Checked Hussle had on shorts. Checked everybody else. Left. They say came back with a red shirt on. Tiptoed through the alley and went right and started shooting. So to me, that's premeditated. Number one, there's no red shirts in the hood. You can't buy no red shirt. No liquor store sell no red shirt. Number two, when a nigga come through the alley with a red shirt, that's the throw off. Or the Bloods did. The murder was, or the Inglewood families did,
orchestrated,
or the BPS.
Set up.
That's the throw off, red shirt. So for me, he felt he was supposed to do a job, or somebody sent him or whatever, and he was nervous. He was supposed to hit that alley with that red shirt immediately, but he didn't do that. He came in and he wanted to check the scene. He wanted to make sure he wasn't getting into a shootout. You know what I'm saying? He came there for a reason.
Never met or talked to Black Sam, but
seems like a pretty stand-up guy.
No, I wouldn't take nothing from me. I'm gonna be real. What I do know, because Big U used to always tell me he didn't like Black Sam, couldn't stand Black Sam, right? But he would go down there with him and try to play chess with him to get close to him, get up under him, to try to curb his thoughts, for Nip. Because Black Sam was totally against a lot of this shit. He was telling his brother, like, yo, I don't trust, this ain't that, this ain't this.
Hussle was getting to the money, but at the same time, he was associating and hanging out. I'm like full time, get the money. Hussle was half and half. And, that other half could get you going for a long time. And you don't want your little bro being a part of, some shit that is destructive. My goal was always, we gotta get this bread and we gotta get the money and we gotta, we need to make sure that we own. Seeing Hussle and me not being able to do anything about it either. Right. It's like, man, it came to a point where Hussle was so deep in and so involved and so much going on around him in the neighborhood, with the politics in the neighborhood. It's like, all right, now, I gotta be there with bro, and I gotta be, and people need to understand, like, yeah, this is his bro, and his bro is here, and, if nobody else is tripping, I'm tripping. Mm-hmm. And Nip had a certain unit, and that was our unit.
This ain't that. I remember him trying to tell me, yo, man, I never seen Black Sam with a female before. I think he gay. So I asked somebody else from 6-0, one of the reputables I know. He said, whack, Black Sam got a family woman, all that. He just don't expose him to, social media and shit like that, right?
Did
you see the clip when he was live?
Okay,
and they said justice for Nip? Wait.
Yeah, that's...
And what did he do? He started laughing. Your brain is going to react in the most genuine way, naturally. Justice for Nip. Justice for Nip. You see this shit?
That's sick. If that's supposed to be your homeboy, that's not your homeboy, then I guess it's fair play.
You got to tell us what you waiting on.
But that is not cool, supposed to be your homeboy.
Justice for Nip.
A young boy would have been there like, yeah, you got it.
You did. You did.
He ain't realizing people screen recording this
The
shit.
other guys are like laughing in the clip too. It's kind of weird.
They with him. No, it ain't. It's Nip. That's what that means. That's what that means. Because that dude is the most vicious, conniving snake I've seen. For him to say all this little brother shit about Nip, and on Paru for me to know what I know, bozo wozo.
Damn.
The city is working hard to clean up the streets with a special injunction targeting.
All right, chat. We're gonna go ahead and I want to say we're gonna call it a night, chat.
Big U and 18 other Rolling 60 Crips got hit with one of the craziest RICO indictments ever.
Thank you for watching. We're gonna end it right here. Hope y'all have a good night. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you for watching. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Hop on, tap in. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. It's mean green. So check me out tomorrow. Y'all have a good night. God bless.